Okay, so we're going to talk about change and specifically about people who seem resistant to change or say or feel like they are change adverse. And you're thinking, just please get on board. We've got so much change coming. So here's the first thing is I want you to change your mindset to get extremely curious about why they may be resistant. Nobody is just fully resistant to change. We have so much change, but here are the two reasons someone would be resistant. One, it wasn't their idea. It's being forced upon them by somebody else. And secondly, they don't put it in the category of good, right? If we get a raise, we think great change. If we're getting fired, we don't think great change. So we're going to use the change style indicator, which has 3 styles or types, to really look into this and probe deeper because this is super important. So you don't just want people who, when you say jump, they say how high. Some of those people, it's great. When you say change, they say how far. So let's take a look at these 3. The first are the originators. That's the one category. Originators are innovators. They're excited by change. They sometimes are even the rule breakers who are like, what's tradition? Not interested. Then we have the pragmatists. Those are the folks who are like, if it's practical and if something's broken enough, yes, for sure, let's do the change. And then we've got the conservers, and that's who we're talking about here. It's helpful to notice that there's a third, and a third. So these are the folks who are more cautious, and they're thinking, are we going to be just as excited and invested in this change now as we will be in a few months? We don't want to do anything that's just got organizational ADD written all over it. Also, they're thinking about, have the details strategically been thought out enough? And they are always thinking specifically, what's the problem we're trying to solve? So it's really helpful for you to recognize those are important pieces for them, but really for your whole team. I'm going to give you 5 questions and I'm going to read them to you, and I recommend that you capture these so that you can ask these of your team because you're going to get some truthful, real answers. Okay, so the first question is, what do you see as the purpose of this change effort? You ask them instead of just trying to force it down their throat. The second is, describe your level of confidence in our ability to successfully implement this change. You're probably getting at some real important things there. The third is, do you trust that this change is for the better of the organization? And if so, how? The fourth one is, how is this change affecting you personally and professionally? And the fifth question is, what do you think needs to be communicated right now about this change? So that's how to use this change style indicator and recognize that people come to change in 3 different ways. Here's an additional bonus. If you're working with somebody and they seem resistant and you can have a one-on-one meeting with them, ask them, okay, so with this change, you've got a fear around it somehow. Help me to understand, what's the fear? And they might say, no, I'm not scared. And you say, go with it. No, if there's resistance, there's fear. What's the fear? And they might say, well, I'm afraid that this isn't actually going to work. And you get to then keep getting specific. Specificity with fear is the most important. What specifically are you afraid won't work? And then you keep trying to tackle that. So you get to see if it's an irrational fear that they are then like, okay, fine, it's not that big of a deal. I actually am okay. Or if it's really something to examine. Okay, we know that on our best days, we recognize that change is moment by moment. Inhaling and then exhaling, that's a change. And on our good days, we're up for it, we're excited. We know that if we stand still, that's like going backwards because everyone else is moving forward. But on our worst days, on our hard days, we feel like change is hard. So enjoy the journey, and here we go.